So there are apps that you can use to help construct your meal plan. Pretty much everybody I know uses MyFitnessPal. I'm sure there are others out there. I mean, I use the free version. I don't really know any of the other ones that are out there. I don't know them by name. I don't know how effective they are or efficient they are. MyFitnessPal is a really good. It's a really good tool. I use MyFitnessPal all the time. I'll try to include like I'll include a video, like a screen recording of my own personal meal plan, kind of how I have my macros set up, and I'll put that on here. But that's one of the best ways, because you can put in your breakfast, you can put in a lunch, you can put in a dinner, you can put in a snack. You can search all the foods that they have in there. So when you're trying to do that, when you're trying to construct a meal plan, you can start build you a lunch, and you can put your 6 ounces of chicken and a serving of rice, or a serving of potatoes, or a serving of broccoli, whatever it is, and it'll give you the totals. It'll give you how many calories is in all of that. It'll give you your fat, protein, carb breakdown, and as you're building up towards your goal, units, whether it's 150 grams of protein, 200 grams of carbs, 67 grams of fat, you can go in there and you can adjust the serving size of each to grow those numbers or shrink those numbers in the right spots. And then once you get your numbers right, once your totals are correct, then you'll know the food that is on that list, how much you should have of each food, and then you just build your meals that way, and then that's how many calories you're gonna be eating. That's how much protein, how much carbs, and like I mentioned, like there is going to be some error in some of those calculations. I think more than likely, either that or calories burned in essence truly aren't as many as we think that they are. So, but you want to track it. You want to keep track, because if you think that you're eating 2,000 calories a day or 1,800 calories a day, and that's what you're eating, if you know what your serving sizes are of each of those foods at those meals, you may have to shrink them a little bit. You may have to come down a little. So if you're eating 5 ounces of chicken, maybe, or whatever it is, whatever the food is, if you're eating 5 ounces of it, maybe you think you're getting too many carbs, you can, decrease the amount of that food that you're getting there at that meal. And that's the best way to keep track of your caloric intake. And like I said, also make sure that you are exercising. You have to do some kind of exercise. I mean, you want to get your heart rate up. You want to get your heart rate up as much as you can, really. And consult with your doctor. Go talk to your doctor. You're not supposed to be going on any kind of, diets or physical activities or anything like that without consulting your primary care physician. A little disclaimer there. But just don't overcomplicate it, and don't get so caught up in the small details. It's big picture. It takes time. You can lose a lot of weight fast if you want to, but it's better to do it slowly, at a manageable rate. That way you're not going in too hard. Like, you don't want to go in and starve yourself for 6 months, and then after the end of that 6 months, you're so scared of starving that you just eat everything that you can see, But that's going to be the best way to track that. Is find you an app. I mean, you can Google, fitness apps or food tracking apps. I'm sure there's other ones out there. I don't know of any that I could recommend other than MyFitnessPal. It's good. It's a good app. It works well. The premium version probably has more stuff. I don't even know how much that cost. Or you can just old school. I mean, when I first started doing it, it was all, I've got notebooks, so many notebooks somewhere of meal plans that I've come up with for people and everything else. And I used to just do it all on there, all on a piece of paper, and just do the hard math that way, But yeah, keep track of what you're eating. You need to know what you're eating. Definitely need to know that. And then when you're keeping track of stuff, you can also start to pick up on foods that maybe you start eating this different food at lunchtime and you notice after lunch you're always kind of groggy, or maybe you're bloated, or maybe you're having some stomach issues every time after you eat that meal. And then you can start narrowing down, okay, well, whenever I eat potatoes, it doesn't agree with my stomach. Or when I eat potatoes, I'm full, I'm not as hungry for an hour or two longer than if I were to eat rice, or if I were to eat oatmeal or something like that. I mean, there's foods that I eat, some of them will keep me more full longer, even though it's like macro breakdowns aren't really any different, but the satiety of those foods will keep me, fuller longer. So it's a lot easier if you can find those foods, figure out what keeps you full, figure out what helps you feel the best, figure out, what's not making you bloated and making you gassy and all that stuff. And that's one of the best ways to figure that out, is by keeping track of what you're eating. That way, when you do start feeling any type of way, you can kind of look back and be like, oh, well, what have I changed? Why is my stomach feeling weird, after I eat lunch or after I eat dinner? And yeah, keep track what you're eating.